looks like it is recording on my end. And so Ursula, thank you for joining us tonight. And let me introduce you to everyone. We're excited to hear what you have to talk about. We've had a really nice series so far and wonderful guests, and we've been looking forward to meeting you as well. So let's see, Ursula Maris Figueras, right? Did I pronounce that right?
Figueras.
Yeah, Figueras, from the Huasteca region. And okay. And so we'll let you talk a little bit about that. Ursula has a bachelor's degree in history from UNAM and a master in modern and contemporary history from the Mora Institute, where she researches images and oral memories. She has 15 years of experience working with oral history, methodology, and audiovisual tools, and has made various documentaries about the huapango and the Huasteco sones. She's been a speaker at various conferences on the topic of oral history of the huapango of Veracruz and Puebla. She is involved in a civil association that seeks to preserve and spread the huapango in the Veracruz municipality of Tepehua. You're going to tell me if I pronounce that correctly. Additionally, she has developed interactive and didactic history material for primary school students. And currently, she's preparing her doctoral research about the construction of visual images of the Mexican and Colombian hippies. We know about hippies here in Northern California a little bit through photographs. And you know that, and I know that's not the topic of your lecture tonight, but would be interested to hear a little bit about your doctoral research. That sounds very interesting to us. So I will let you take it away. If you'd like to have us ask questions during your time or your lecture with us, then we're happy to do that, or you can just do your thing and we'll wait until the end. We'll be quiet.
Thank you. Well, have so much we have so much to see and hear. So let's start. I'm gonna share my screen. You tell me if the screen is seen.
Yes, you can see it.
Perfect. Well, I'm very glad and grateful to be here and share a little of I know about the Huasteca music. I'm a very slow speaking English, so be patient with me, please. If you have any questions, write them, and we will talk about it at the end. The first slide, the regions, the musical regions in Mexico. Here in Mexico are different cultural and musical regions in which we can find musical genre, such as the mariachi, the chilena, the son jarocho, the yucateca trova, the marimba from Chiapas, or the son calentano. One of these regions is the Huasteca. On the map that you are seeing are a purple area that is the Huasteca region. It's made up of 6 states of the Mexican Republic: Hidalgo, Puebla, Querétaro, San Luis Potosí, Tamaulipas, and Veracruz. To understand the cultural and social diversity of the region, it's important that we look at its geography. If you realize half of the region is made up of mountains and the other half of coastal plains. This had led to a significant ethnic mix. In this territory live Totonaco, Nahua, Huasteca, and Pames indigenous populations mainly. In addition to a mestizo population with whom they share many traditions and customs. As we see in the images, each one has their own clothing. In fact, I'm wearing a blouse from a municipality. I don't know if you can see my blouse. This blouse is from a municipality of Huasteca Veracruzano. The traditional music of the Huasteca is diverse, and we can find customary songs, which are the sacred sonnets, as the canary or the Xochipitahua, the carnival sonnets, which are interpreted in the dances of the carnival party, sonnets of the different Huasteca dances, and the huapango and the wind bands. This time, I'm going to focus only on the sonnets and the huapango. And I will not address to the wind bands because they have different instrumentation and another musical repertory, although sometimes they share festival social spaces. The social spaces in which the sonnets and the huapango are performed range from weddings, mayordomías, which are, well, mayordomías is stewardship, which are the festivals that are held for certain saints and include dances, sacred sonnets, and huapango. They are also performed at festivals, certain rituals such as the request of rain, Chantolo, which is the Day of the Dead, carnival, parties in general, such as birthdays. In fact, there is a birthday huapango called Mañanitas Huastecas. And the Elotlamanalistri, which is the corn festival, in September 29, in which the first corn harvest of the year is celebrated, and the Huasteca, the first offering is made to wait the Day of the Dead. Actually, today is the Day of the Corn. In these festive social spaces, there is always food. Some dishes of traditional Huasteca gastronomy are bocoles, enchiladas, meatballs, chamiles, shrimp or mushroom huatape, and the Huasteca tamal called zacahuel. The bocoles are made with corn dough, beans, and cilantro. Everything is stirred and balls are made that are lightly flattened and cooked on a comal. Huatape is a corn dough brought with chile and epazote. The chamiles are sweet corn tamales. Enchiladas are tortilla baked with chile or pipián sauce. Pipián is a pumpkin seeds and are served with cheese and beans. The meatballs are made with beef, cumin, corn, and beef broth with mint and vegetables. I brought you some photographs to show you the festive social spaces in which the different zones and the huapango are performed. First of all, the Huasteca wedding. This in particular was held within the Huapango festival that takes place every year in the municipality of Tepehua in Veracruz. At weddings, the bride and groom make a pilgrimage from the bride house to the altar where they will be married. On this tour, a trio with violin, jarana, and guitar plays customary sones such as the Canario and the Xochipitahua. It's also done in the pilgrimage that the steward makes with the image of the saint of in his day. Usually, in the Nahuas areas, the letters are interpreted in Nahuatl, and in the Totonaco areas, in the Totonaco, in the Totonaca areas, the Totonaco language. I'm going to show you a Xochipitzahuac for the trio calamar. Wait me for a moment, please. Tell me if you can hear. You can hear?
I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, perfect. The music.
Don't hear any music.
You can hear the music?
No, no music yet.
How can I share the music from my computer?
If you go into the share screen,
Share sound. I found.
Yeah, that's right.
You are listening?
No, not yet. Yes.
Yes.
We had it there, yes.
I think you have to change your screen to the application that makes the sound.
I have to change what?
Is it playing now, Ursula?
Can I intervene quickly in Spanish? Ursula, pon la pestaña de donde estás compartiendo la música. De la aplicación, deja de compartir el PowerPoint y pon la de la música.
Okay. Stop share. And I'm going to share the music. Okay. Share. Okay. You can hear?
Good.
Well, we are listening to the Xochipitzahuac. Well, we are back to the PowerPoint. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, another of the festivals in which the songs are interpreted is the Elotlamanalist, the festival of the tender corn, in which the first seasonal corn harvest is celebrated on 29th of September. In this event, the peasants and their families take a tour of the streets with their corn plants towards the church while a wind band plays. These are the old corn from the past harvest. They have to be carried by 3 old ladies who deliver the seeds to 3 young women who represent the new harvest and who are waiting at the door of the church to welcome the boy and the girl corn in the ritual of Elotlamanalist. When they arrive at the church, the elderly woman performs a dance to the rhythm of the son of the corn. After the ceremony, everyone goes on a pilgrimage to the house of the San Miguel bottler, who will give them coffee, bread, and corn to eat, as well as zacahuil, the most important tamal in the Huasteca. Now I'm going to put one of the sones of corn. This is very and the sones. Can you hear it? No, that's enough. A curious fact is that before September 29, a cross is made with pericon flowers, and they are placed outside the houses because there is the belief that that on the 29th the devil will be prowling because San Miguel is celebrating and is not guarding the doors from hell. Before the devotion of San Miguel, there was a corn god called Chicomesochi, who was asked permission to sow and prayed to give good harvests. That figure of the pre-Hispanic pantheon changed to a Catholic cult in which it was replaced by the figure of San Miguel. If you look at the image of the right, it's an altar to corn. Each one of them is dressed as if they were people with the typical costume of the place because they are taught to have light. But if you notice on one side of the bundle of corn with candles is San Miguel. If you can see it in the photo. In addition, that day also take place the dance of the saint of San Miguel. Another important festive space in Huasteca is the Carnival, a time when it celebrates before Lent, Quaresma. In dances, men dress as women, and old men, devils, among other things. The third audio I'm gonna share is a fragment of a video in which they are interpreting a carnival song. On the violin is Don Heraclio Alvarado, who is a very important musician from Veracruz. Well, Santolo. Santolo is the celebration of the Day of the Dead, which is the 1st and 2nd of November. That day, an offering is made with flowers and food to wait for our dead. And many people go to cemeteries to watch over their dead relatives. These days, a dance is also performed in the Huasteca. Now I'm going to show you a video of Chantolosone. After the sacred sones, the dances, and the carnival, there is the Huasteco or huapango song, which is purely festive. Its name comes from Nahuatl and means on the wooden platform. It's played with a violin, a Huasteca jarana, and a huapanguera guitar, also called fifth. It has only 5 strings. I have my jarana here to show you how it is. I don't know if you can see. What makes the huapango particular is that the music is made with the instruments, with the singing and falsetto, and with the dance on a wooden platform as percussion, as you can see in the image of the right. In this other photograph, there is a clear example of how the huapango is interpreted in a huapango party and where the stage and the dancers are placed. The huapango is interpreted in the stewardship, in the festivals in general, and in annual huapango festivals that are held in the different municipalities of the region. There are more indigenous practices and there are others that can be considered mestizo, but they are almost always communal. All the preparations are made between many people. There is a group of women who prepare the food. There is another group in charge of building the tapestle, which is the stage where the huapanguero musicians play. And thus the party is part of the traditions of the Huastec peoples. In these photos, we see the altar next to the tapestle and how it's being blessed. Then we will see a video of Totonac area in the North Mountain of Puebla, in which we'll be able to contrast the practice of the huapango in the huapango festivals and the more indigenous practice and dances. It's not well known how the huapango came about. It's considered to be a mix between indigenous and Spanish traditions. but it's possible to say that it came from the countryside, and some musicians began to spread it, such as Elpidio Ramírez and Nicandro Castillo in the 1930 and 40 decades. They composed several of the huapango that are considered traditional, such as the Cielito Lindo Huasteco, La Malagueña, or the Caimán. This is Nicandro Castillo. Precisely in the 1940s, the composer Juan Pablo Moncayo, who was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, the land of mariachis, not in the Huasteca, premiered his symphonic work Huapango as a reinterpretation of traditional Huasteca music in the framework of Mexican nationalism. It was performed in August of 1941 at the Palacio de Bellas Artes here in Mexico City, under the direction of Carlos Chavez. It was used mostly to promote tourism. I'm gonna show you a fragment of the huapango of Moncayo. That's enough. As we can hear, it's totally different to the traditional huapango. Returning to Nicandro Castillo and Elpidio Ramírez, his interpretations were broadcast on the radio, and that made him reach different corners of the Huasteca, the cities, but also the indigenous areas in the mountains. Many of the elders like that music so much that they appropriated, but they had to learn by ear. And the carpenters became lauderos and built their own instruments. In the Totonac area, an oral memory has been built in which it's assured that the huapango comes from there. They assure that it's an indigenous music that was stolen by other musicians. I'm gonna put a fragment. I'm gonna show you a fragment of El Cielito Lindo by Elpidio Ramírez.
Sí, señor. Este cielito lindo, lindo cielito que canto aquí, viene del la Huasteca, lindo cielito, solo por ti. Este cielito lindo, lindo cielito que canto aquí, viene del la Huasteca, lindo cielito, solo por ti. Ay, 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 sí, ay, 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 no lo desprecies, porque tendrás la culpa, lindo cielito, que se regrese. Ay, 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 sí, ay, 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 no lo desprecies, porque tendrás la culpa, lindo cielito, que se regrese. Seguro.
Well, in this point, I think important to mention that the learning that had been by ear and from generation to generation began to become more academic, especially in cities. The lyrics of the huapangos speak of animals such as the horse, the rooster, the turkey, the buzzard, love, food, or places in the Huasteca. We are going to listen to a fragment of the huapango El Sopilote from the Nostalgia Huasteca trio. I put you here the letter to see it, but I have to stop share. The song say, "Buzzard, you died so fast, and you leave the girls, your tail for ash." And now we can listen. You listen the buzz buzz, and it's the sound that buzzards make. After generation of old musicians, and after that music that was considered for old people was turned off, there has been a resurgence of new generations, not only of men, but of women who form huapanguero trios. I'm going to show you brief fragments of two huapango groups that are currently in force, that are trying to make this musical tradition survive. The first audio is of a trio of young people called Los Cantores del Son, with the huapango Amanecer Huasteca.
Y al cielo de la tarde se está nublando, se está nublando. Y todo el horizonte se está apagando, se está apagando. Toda la bruta sierra se baña de tristeza, pues el sol ya cansado se va ocultando. Ay, la 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 la. Ay, la 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 la. Ay, la 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 la. Ay, la la la. Ay, la la la.
Well, the following audio is from the Tlacuatzin trio that plays El Ausente.
Ausente de mí estarás, pero no de mi memoria, pero no de mi memoria, y ausente de mí estarás,
pero no de mi memoria. Ausente de mí estarás, ausente de mí estarás, pero no de mi memoria.
esto bien comprenderás, y para ti es una gloria, y para ti es una gloria, y ausente te quiero más.
Por donde quiera que vas, te seguiré yo por verte, te seguiré yo por verte, por donde quiera que vas.
Te seguiré yo por verte, por donde quiera que vas, por donde quiera que vas, te seguiré yo por verte.
Para que sepas nomás, solo que quiera la suerte, solo que quiera la suerte, ausente de mí estarás.
Well, in addition to the huapango practices that we already saw, from the process of professionalization of the huapango and its dance, folk dance groups have been formed that have stylized the costumes and dance steps to showing the huapango as a spectacle. Well, it is another way to practice it. Finally, after all that I have just shown you, I want to see some videos of the huapango that is practiced in a Totonaco town in the state of Puebla. This is an interactive documentary that I made for a visual anthropology class many years ago. I lost those videos, but they stayed on the internet. They are in Spanish, but what I want to see, I want you to see is the type of physical and cultural space in which the huapango takes place. I want you to look at the musicians, how they dress, how they speak, and what huapangos they interpret. They say that the huapango comes from their ancestors and that it so communicates with God. These Totonaco huapangueros assure that the huapango is not an spectacle, but rather something that is live, felt, and carried in the heart. And for me, is very special to show you this video because two of them died 2 years ago in a tragic accident. It was very, very sad.
Bueno, lo que comenta aquí don Francisco es que el huapango son sones que se tocan en las fiestas.
Es una forma de comunicarse con Dios, con nuestros dioses, ¿no? Para que nuestros dioses estén alegres, estén contentos.
Esa música es de nosotros y es de acá. No es de nosotros, sino que es del pueblo, mejor dicho, porque era de nuestros antepasados. Sí.
Y tú también me preguntabas que por qué lo dicen que es nuestro. Yo también me preguntas, pero pues eso es nuestro, no es música indígena, ¿no? Yo lo considero así como música indígena porque no se escucha en otra parte. Tú dices que sí se escucha, también me decías, no, pues sí se escucha en México, que se escucha en las grandes ciudades, pero ellos no lo practican, nada más lo ponen como un espectáculo, como un show, bueno. Pero acá en las comunidades siempre es una práctica, una fiesta, luego el huapango.
Porque otra cosa que decían en otros estados.
I'm sorry.
Puebla no se tomaba en cuenta, que no eran huastecos, que nomás se remedaban.
¿Y ustedes cómo se sintieron al escuchar eso?
Bueno, uno se siente mal porque te menosprecian. Y no es cierto. Donde de veras no es huasteco, pues no se baila, ni siquiera se conocen los huapangos ahí donde de veras no es.
Soy un marino bipolar, cruzo por los 7 mares y como soy navegante, vivo desde las tempestades, desafiando los peligros que me dan los 7 mares. Cuando el mar está tranquilo, hay estrellas en el cielo, entre penas y suspiros, le hablo a la mujer que quiero. Y solo el mar me contesta, ya no llores, marinero. Me dicen el 7 mares, porque ando en el puerto, llevando conmigo mismo un amor ya casi muerto. Ahí quisiera quedarme, juntito a mi gran cariño, pero eso no fue mi suerte, navegar es mi destino.
Porque así se escucha y se vive el huapango.
Se vive el huapango aquí.
¿A qué te refieres con que se vive el huapango?
Se disfruta. Cuando vives el huapango es cuando lo sientes.
Suéltala, compadre.
Suéltala, compadre.
Alguien picó. Viene.
Más arriba, mi Huajuela, donde nos gusta el huapango. Que reggae, que reggae. Te digo recién que dice alegrando corazones, alegrando corazones. El amor es muy bonito.
Se vive el huapango aquí.
Wish que se enseña, que pasquillan, que pasquillan. Wish que se enseña, que pasquillan. Takata paya, sikti ya.
Well, to end, right. To end, if you look at music, it's related to spaces, memories, traditions, identities, and food. It's part of social and cultural world. So, well, thank you very much. That's all for this presentation. I hope I have planted a little love for the Huasteca, and that if one day you have the opportunity, you will come to know and like its music and traditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ursula. Wonderful. That was a lot of great music that you played for us. I noticed that sometimes I see musicians from Veracruz wearing white. Is there a reason for that?
This is Jarocho musicians. They are from the Sotavento region. It's closer, but I forgot the word. It's in Veracruz, but it's other region.
It's another
region. And are other musicians that play arpa, and
Yeah.
it's a mix of son jarocho and music with arpa, and they were Violeta, ¿cómo se dice paliacate? ¿Andas por ahí?
Ay, paliacate es como scarf.
Yeah. Red scarf.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So, were there any questions from anyone? I saw that you answered several in the chat here, and thank you. Any other questions from anyone tonight?
I have one about the you were talking about earlier about the hippies, because I remember you asked about that earlier. I just wanted to see if we can get an explanation about that too.
Great question. Yeah, I think we'd all like. And before you answer that question, because we have a code word each week for these lectures, so that I know students have been here. And so I always ask, what is your favorite dessert? Do you have a favorite dessert?
Dessert.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say in English. Is Violeta, ¿cómo se dice arroz con leche?
I don't think there's an English. I mean, you can say rice with milk, but
Rice
it's
with
arroz
milk.
con leche.
Rice with milk
Okay.
and cinnamon.
Rice with milk.
Rice and milk.
Okay, hold on. I'll say it once. Rice with milk and cinnamon.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you'd have to say arroz con leche because it's a very Spanish and Mexican thing.
Yes.
Arroz con leche, which is rice with milk, right? Arroz
and
con
cinnamon and vanilla.
Very delicious, yummy.
Yeah, you can describe that in any way that you'd like in your code word for this week. Rice with milk.
It reminds me of cream of wheat or some oatmeal.
Okay, so now we want to know about the hippies.
The hippies. My current research is about the construction of the hippie imaginaries through the press, photography, and the photographs of taken by hippies themselves. What interests me is to know how the relationship between hippies and the consumption of hallucinogens, I don't know if it's mushrooms and LSD and
right hallucinogens, mushrooms and things like that. Yes. Yeah. Some of these students might know those things.
Substance was represented on the photograph, and I'm working on files and with oral memory. I work with interviews and I make interviews to the hippie people who survive today.
Right, and so for us, we think of the hippie movement as being sort of late 1960s into the early 1970s in the United States.
Yes.
The same in Mexico and Colombia?
Yes, yes. The movement, the hippie movement spread to, I mean, ¿cómo se dice inició?
Started.
Eso es, I forgot, I am sorry. Started in United States, but spread in Latin America, and in each territory, I don't know how particularly.
It's okay. We put you on the spot with that. It's fine. It sounds like very interesting research and a lot of, I imagine it's a lot of fun to interview people.
No one has made that kind of research. Only one investigator that I forgot of. But I'm working with photographs, and nobody have that kind of investigation.
You'll have to let us know when you have your dissertation, we can read it.
Yes, I'm gonna very glad to be there.
Yeah,
when,
very nice.
when the time comes.
Are there any other questions tonight, anyone? It is 8:30, and my guarantee with you is that we'd finish by 8:30. Help me thank Ursula, please. A big hand clap or a thumbs up or something else.
Thank you. I like the vibes to the music. It was cool.
Oh, thank you.
Hungry. I wanted to go there, see the people, the
I need
colors.
a rose con leche.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, come here.
Okay, well, thank you. I will be here for a while if anyone needs anything. And Ursula, you're welcome to stay around if you'd like, and you don't have to, of course.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
yeah, it's good to see everybody. Good to see you, Violetta.
Well, same here.
Violetta, thank you very much. I'm a very, very bad English speaker.
You know, I thought you did great. It was very easy to understand, and the music was wonderful, and you had a wonderful presentation with all of the slides, and I thought it was very, very nice. So don't feel bad at all. I can't imagine trying to give a lecture in a second or third or fourth language.
Ya es tiempo para comer arroz con leche. Isaac Mendoza, you can speak in Spanish.
Me?
Poquito.
Oh.
Poquito.
No mucho, pero poquito.
Ah,
Pero yo no soy muy bien hacer eso. Pero yo sí sé qué están diciendo. Pero yo hablo más inglés.
I imagine that.
Pero mi papá sí hablan español muy bien. So, eso está bien. Y mis abuelos también. So, de eso todo estaba muy diferente porque mis papás mis abuelos son de San Luis Potosí. So, yo no sabía que oíamos esa música en
San Luis Potosí.
Sí, where were they from? ¿De dónde era? Mis abuelos.
San Luis Potosí.
No, ¿cuál parte?
Agualulco.
Agualulco, algo así se llama. Un pueblito chiquito.
¿En San Luis Potosí?
Sí. Sí.
Oh, de Huasteca.
¿Dónde queda la Huasteca? De San Luis. Ya sabe.
No sé. Pero sí. Gracias por todo. Ya quiero arroz con leche. Voy a preguntar para que me cocine.
Después te paso la receta.
Está bien, está bien. Hasta luego. Listen. Bye. Bye, Mr. Thompson.
Okay, goodbye. Hasta luego.
Well, thank you very much. And
thank you.
It's time to leave.
Okay, have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a nice night. And thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
I feel it. Okay.
Bye.
Good night, Violetta. Okay, anyone else? Looks good. I'm going to say good night too. And hope to see you next week. All right. Bye.